She's always a step above anyone else I've ever met. Yeah, I just can't get enough. The way that she shines blows my mind. She's everything I've ever dreamed of. So I'm gonna take every chance that I get just to tell her how I feel. Hey there, cowboy, what you waiting for? Take your cowgirl out on that floor, spin her around, turn her upside down till she can't take it no more. Hey cowboy, tell her she looks good, that she's the hottest girl in this world, the prettiest thing you've ever laid eyes on. Hey there, cowboy, show her off. That smile, yeah, she lights up every room. No one can compare. It's hard not to stare. She makes my four-wheel mud tires turn. I'm stuck on her. She's the one. I just can't look away. I'm so damn proud. I wanna shout it out loud. I love her more every day. So I'm gonna take every chance that I get just to tell her how I feel. Hey there, cowboy, what you waiting for? Take your cowgirl out on that floor, spin her around, turn her upside down till she can't take it no more. Hey cowboy, tell her she looks good, that she's the hottest girl in this world, the prettiest thing you've ever laid eyes on. Hey there, cowboy, hey cowboy, what you waiting for? Take your sweetheart out on that floor, spin her around, turn her upside down till she can't take it no more. Hey cowboy, tell her she looks good, she's the hottest thing in this world, the prettiest thing you've ever laid eyes on. Hey there, cowboy, she's the prettiest girl you've ever laid eyes on. Hey there, cowboy, show her off. 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 Hey cowboy, show her off.
I have to tell you something. I was panicking a bit because I'm down to the last piece of paper, last stick of paper.
Last layer on your lint roller, and it was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny you're mentioning the lint roller. Because I take the odd picture when you're lint rolling. I said I'm going to put it together into like a
Well, when you
got a long spiel. Because
Right.
you do lint roll because you do have the Great Danes.
Right, and our colors are dominantly black, which is the worst for dog hair, light colored dog hair. And I'm off to my last thing. So if I don't get down to the store and get another lint roller, wait to see me now. I'm gonna look like Scooby Doo. Right?
Hair all over the place.
Yeah, there we go.
You got to use tape.
Yeah, you know,
Scotch tape on your hands.
I guess it's nice to have hair on me somewhere. So who knows, right? big
making up for the lost hair up on that dome there, right?
Big show tonight, pal.
Yes.
We have Gilles Bisson coming on shortly, and then the second half we're going to be celebrating International Women's Day, and I'm going to share with you 7 facts that you don't know about women, Kinsman.
That I don't know about women. All right.
Mhm.
Well, we'll be putting myself and everybody else to the test
Yeah.
a little bit later on in the show. Also, we forget to mention, and before we do forget, hashtag full beard for a chance to win an amazing prize pack. You get to join us at our big St. Patty's Day night on the 17th.
Yes.
And the final day to qualify is on Thursday. Actually, the grand prize is on Thursday. So you have a chance to qualify Thursday, another chance tonight. So again on Thursday, and then the grand prize, someone will win their seat at our table watching the Balladeers. We're going to have green beer, and we're also going to bring a platter, a charcuterie board from Plant-Based Marché for our winners.
Yes, the gin soaked Balladeers. But I will say this: we're a little more organized tonight on the price on the list of winners, and because last show we had 2 winners because we thought Louise had won. No,
that's not a bad thing to have. We have so many winners on this show, and multiple people win different prizes. And we thought that one of the winners, I think it was Louise Melanson was our latest qualifier, and we said no, I think she's qualified, but she actually won something previous on another show. And so we ended up giving 2 qualifiers back on last night's show, or the last show, which was Lynn Draper and Louise Melanson. And since I do have the list, here's who's qualified. So we've got Louise Melanson, Lynn Draper, Lori Ball is in there, Anne-Marie Phippen, Janice Vickers. We've got Casey Smith, Rochelle Lariviere, Caitlin Metatawabin, and Mona Lisa Poulin. And they've all picked up a full beard prize pack. And just like all those winners, someone will win a full beard prize pack. Now, what are we going to give away? We gave away 6 cans of full beard, a T-shirt, and 6 cans of full beard in the last 3 giveaways.
Let's go a T-shirt.
A full beard T-shirt. All right. So someone will win a T-shirt tonight.
There's my guy.
Hey, Jason. Hey, buddy.
New York City.
Representing NYC. Jamie knows 7 facts about women. He must have Googled them. Well, we're going to find out a little bit later on.
Me and Mark put our brains together. We came up with 1. They're smarter than us. And then we had to Google the rest. Right? But yes, a lot of hashtag full beards. And we'll do that draw at the end of the show. But let's bring Gilles on. He's waiting patiently for
Gilles Bisson. Lots of questions, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be asking about the 3-letter word that is on everybody's mind.
What is it?
Gas.
Okay, right off the bat, Gilles?
Right off the hop. How you doing, Gilles?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry I wasn't able to join you last time. A bunch of things came up, and I had to reschedule. So I appreciate you guys doing this.
Oh yeah, no problem. Mark and I are pretty flexible at times. It's always chaos last minute anyway, so that
organized chaos, Gilles. If anything happens, we just reschedule, and that's the benefit of our show. There's no rules.
Of course, there's always a lot to talk about when Mr. Bisson's on the show, but before we get to the gas, I want to ask your opinion on this. And we had Charlie Angus on the show a couple weeks back, and it got very contentious. So obviously there's been a lot, and we've talked about this before, a lot of discussions about our freedoms, our liberty in Canada. And now that we've seen, and we're there's some of the restrictions are loosening, and potentially the masks are going away at the end of March, maybe, we're starting to see the end of the rainbow potentially. There is still a pocket of people that feel that, hey, listen, I don't feel like my freedoms are being respected in this country. Where do you stand on that position?
Well, listen, it's a very real feeling. I think you need to acknowledge it. There are people out there. I don't think it's a majority, but there's a good size of people out there who didn't like any of these restrictions, be it a vaccine, be it a mask, social distancing, limiting, being able to go into restaurants and all that stuff. The QR codes, there's all kinds of things that people, I'm sure, took offense to. And I think the first thing you have to do is you have to acknowledge it. And I think the biggest mistake that I think the Prime Minister made in Ottawa is he wouldn't meet with these people. Like throughout this entire pandemic, I've been calling people back who call my office and want to talk. And, I've been told all kinds of things. I've been called names. Most people, I got to say, 99% are very respectful. I have to say that. And people who have been going to my social media messenger stuff, I don't like engaging on Messenger because it's a really bad medium to get into a real conversation. So what I say to people, send me your phone number and I'll call you. And some people have, and I call them back. And often it means I got to listen to what they have to say for 20, 30 minutes. And they're free to think what they think. It is a democracy. We do need to accept that. So I think the first stop is that we need to accept not everybody was happy with a lot of these decisions, in some case none. But on the flip side, we also have to understand this was driven by a pandemic. There was a pandemic. There was a thing called COVID. And at first, I think the public health people, the doctors and government really didn't know how to respond. So we probably did more than we had to do in some cases, and maybe longer than we had to in others. But in the end, we managed to limit how many people are in our hospitals, and that was the big part. Our hospitals were being overflowed, and that means if you get a serious medical condition, you can't get into surgery because there isn't a bed to put you in ICU after. So, government, Mr. Ford did it. And what I find really interesting through this whole thing is the anger has been focused to Mr. Trudeau. And I want to admit here on your show, this is a scoop, I didn't vote for Justin Trudeau. All right.
Right. Okay. We're wondering about that, but we're on the board. Yeah.
But the point is, everybody directed their anger towards him, but most of what was done by Mr. Ford provincially.
Well, that's right. It was
And
all provincial,
by
not
all three
federal.
political parties, or all four. The Greens, the Liberals, us, and the Tories, agreed on most of these measures. We might have incrementally disagreed in some points of it, but most of what people are upset about were done at the provincial level, including the emergency measures. A lot of people forget the emergency measures used in Ottawa to break up the protests and on the Windsor Bridge, by and large, were provincial. And because the province has the ability to do that, and the only requirement is within, I think it's 28 days after declaring the emergency and giving the extra power to the police, the government either has to come to the House to have it extended or drop it. And that's what they did. So, a lot of anger was directed towards Mr. Trudeau, and rightfully so, because I think he handled it extremely bad. Should have met with people, should have talked to them. You don't have to agree to them, but do that. But it is one of those things.
That's right. Him not addressing, even to going to say a few words, that
You have to.
They tell you that in grade school. When you have an issue, you talk it out amongst yourselves, right? But he didn't even take the time to talk about anything, and then look where it unraveled.
Yeah, and the other part is, people have the right to disagree. That's the reality of democracy.
That's right.
You may not like it, but you have to accept it, and they have a right to feel the way they do, and they have the right to express themselves as you and I do, as long as you stay within the law, and that's really the measure here.
A couple comments. One from Kelly says, no one should lose their employment and we need your help. So if it's I'm sure it may not be an individual concern, but say if someone has lost their employment due to some sort of requirement by the employer, are they able to reach out to your office and discuss specifically what has happened?
Well, two things. First of all, the government is about to withdraw those restrictions. So we know that in April, I believe, I don't remember the exact date, the government is going to remove you must be vaccinated to work within government circles. Now, here's the thing that people need to realize. An employer such as a mining company, a forestry company, an office, or whatever, independently can do these things. Mm-hmm. It's like I used to work in the mine. You must wear a safety hat. You must wear safety glasses. You must wear safety boots. And if you don't do those things, you get fired. Yeah. Right? And an employer can do the same thing when it comes to vaccinations. If the employer feels that, this is important for whatever reasons they believe, and they decide to make that a condition of employment, an employer is going to be able to do that, and they're within the right to do it as under health and safety measures. So I think some employers, I think most of them won't, but I think you'll see after all of this, you're going to have some employers who will continue doing so, at least in the medium short term.
Yeah, I think we're aware of at least a couple in Timmins who've decided that's the best for the health and safety of their employees and their customers they serve. Now we want to get on to Kinsman's favorite topic. He can't stop talking about gas.
Beer?
So
Oh, I thought it was
well,
beer.
yes. Sorry, it's beer first, but then it's gas.
Yeah, beer first, gas second, but you can't not, like we were joking, gas prices, like sitting down with your grandparents talking about the gas wars, but these are astronomical prices. Like we've never seen. It's $2 a liter here in Tip.
Yeah, just go back and look at the price of gas. When the barrel way back when was $120 a barrel, we weren't paying anywhere near what we're paying now, and the costs are not that much higher. Mm-hmm. People's wages haven't gone up, and most of our wages have been flat and under inflation for the last number of years. And gas company costs haven't gone up all that much. The only thing is that the price at the pump is gone up. And I think there's a couple of things to be said here. Can government control the world price? No. There is a world price set by how much a barrel, and that's based on demand and supply. And when you have things like the Ukraine happen, or as we have now, the Saudis who say, we're not going to sell as much oil because we want to push the price up and make more money. They have the right to do that. So you can't control the world price. But what you can control is the gas spikes that you see first prior to the weekend, when all of a sudden it goes up, 10 cents on the weekend just because they can. And you can control the price differentials. Last week and this week, there's as much as a 30-cent difference between different places in Northern Ontario and the city of Toronto. It doesn't cost 30 cents to move gas. And that's why we and the NDP have proposed a bill again, because we did that a couple of years ago. The government voted for it. The Tories voted for it. They supported the bill, but they never called it in committee in order to be dealt with and finally passed at third reading. So we're calling on the government to say, listen, if you can regulate the price of gas, the hydro, you can regulate natural gas, you regulate how much you pay for milk, you regulate how much you pay for a case of beer or a bottle of wine. Certainly we can regulate the price when it comes to gas. I can buy a case of beer in Cornwall for the same price as Kenora, but I got to pay 30 cents a liter difference for gas. Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. And, there was a good comment we just saw roll up talking about people on fixed incomes. This is detrimental to everybody, let alone, people who are, on a fixed income. And, some blaming now the carbon tax. Is there talks? There's been talks and grumbling that they could, limit the carbon tax. Like a lot of people say they should get rid of the carbon tax altogether. What's your state on that?
Well,
if the carbon tax was taken away, would that make a difference?
Well, the two things. First of all, what would happen if Trudeau and Ford removed the carbon tax? What do you think the gas companies would do? You remove 10 cents a liter from the price of gas. You don't think that the gas companies are going to come in and they're going to increase it by another 10 cents?
Well, you can't do it. Wouldn't that make sense to have the regulation? Like if that happens,
you have to regulate
the regulations on the prices where they
you have to regulate it, then do it. That's the only way you can do it that would make some sense. So if the government says we're prepared to regulate the price of gas, and on a temporary measure, as the price of gas is so high, we're going to withhold tax for a period of whatever. They could do that, but you can't do it without regulation because the gas companies won't be able to help themselves. They're going to say, woo, another 10 cents. Wow, cha-ching. That's all they would do. And on the carbon tax, people forget the only reason we're paying a carbon tax here in Ontario is because Doug Ford got rid of cap and trade. The system that was put in place previously was called cap and trade in order to deal with emissions. The federal government passed a bill and said each province has to go and have a carbon plan. And if you don't do a carbon plan in order to deal with what's going on in the environment and global warming, et cetera, we're going to impose a carbon tax on your items in your province. So Mr. Ford decided to cancel cap and trade, which was a polluter pay system. So it was, if you're a company that didn't pollute, you got credits and you're able to sell those credits, get money and invest in your company. And if you were a polluter, then you had to pay. So those who pollute the most paid, which meant to say you didn't have a carbon tax. You didn't have to pay a carbon tax in Ontario. But when Mr. Ford came in 2018, first thing he did is got rid of cap and trade. And as a result, we got now a carbon tax. And he's complaining about a carbon tax. I get it, but he's the one who indirectly imposed the carbon tax.
Lot of contentious issues right now. I seen on your Facebook page today where it said the NDP will force a vote in the legislature to fix Ontario's broken home care system. What's happening there?
Well, what's happened over the years is that first with the Liberals and now with the Conservatives, they've essentially not increased the home care budgets. And there's more and more people who need home care because the baby boomers, that's people of my generation, we're getting older. And the older baby boomers are needing more home care. And as a result, the government, because they haven't raised the amount of money in the pot, they say, okay, we're going to have to limit how much home care we can give you. So if I'm just going to make up a number. If you were entitled to, let's say 10 years ago, 50 hours a week of care, you're probably down to about 20 or 30 hours a week available now. And that's because government hasn't increased the price. What we're saying in the NDP and Andrew Horvath, an investment in home care is going to save us money. Because if I can keep you at home with proper services, nursing, food, cleaning, all that kind of stuff, that means you don't go into a long-term care facility or you don't end up in a hospital in an ALC unit, an alternate level of care unit, which is far, far more expensive. So we're saying, the government should move on that. They voted against our motion because they believe in a private system where, we just look at the institutional side. As you know, we just got $85 million announced in Timmins, which is great news to the city of Timmins. We got our Golden Manor renovation project approved. That is a great thing. But the government's putting all their eggs in that basket while we should be, yes, doing that, but we need to invest in home care so we don't need as many beds in the long-term care system.
I seen some comments while you were speaking. Jenica talked about long-term care is a mess. PSWs need to be regulated.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Janice mentioned that her respite funding for children was cut by 35%, which is a huge loss. So is this all encompassing what the NDP is trying to do? Okay.
It's the whole kit and caboodle. First of all, PSWs are the backbone to our system, both in long-term care, in home care, and even in hospitals to a degree. So we need to make sure that we attract PSWs. It's hard to do that when we don't pay them barely $20 an hour. It's a hell of a job. They've got to go in and they've got to deal with people. It's not easy. You're having to lift patients. You're having got to have a lot of patience to do some of the work with some patients. Imagine me being a patient. Oh my God, I'd be terrible.
Right.
So, you'd have to pay somebody $50 an hour to deal with me, right? But my point is we need to pay those people an adequate wage so that we can attract people into PSWs. And then we can properly staff not only our long-term care, but our home care. And what we're saying is the NDP, we need to move towards increasing home care so that we have a greater reliance on having people at home and being taken care of there rather than going into long-term care.
I agree. I have had relatives and friends that have been in long-term care, and it's really makes a big difference when they have PSWs who are excellent at their job. And you're right, there's a high burnout, and if the hourly rate doesn't match the value of their job, which to me, the value of their job is extremely high, if not one of the most important jobs in the country.
Oh, it is.
Something needs to be done.
We've shifted. When I first started, most of the care was done by RNs, right? RNAs, registered nurses assistants. Yeah. RNs did the medical side. The RNAs did most of what PSWs do now. So they got really bright in the management side. And they said, oh, we'll underpay people and we'll get them to do a bulk of what the RNAs were doing. Well, surprise, surprise, we find ourselves in a situation now where PSWs are not being attracted in because there's not enough money. Like, why do it for $20 an hour? You got to be pretty damn dedicated. The other thing is, it's also EAs in our schools. That's the other side of this, because you have kids who need constant care in schools. My granddaughter is one of them. My granddaughter is both physically and developmentally delayed. She goes to a school and she has a person there with her all the time. And you need to pay people to do that kind of thing. Otherwise, we're going to languish those children in their homes alone, not interacting with any other kids, which makes their condition even worse. So when we talk about PSWs, let's not forget, we're also talking about those who care for our children in our schools when it comes to, dealing with their needs, whatever, be it, autism or, whatever condition exists.
Saw a great comment from Amanda up there earlier stating that maybe that's why they're attracting people with the free tuition, dragging them in saying, oh, like, well, we're going to pay your tuition, but, we're going to pay you this wage, where maybe if they, if students had to pay their tuition, could they offer a higher wage that way?
I think in the beginning, you're going to have to do both. I think we have such a shortage of EAs and PSWs. I think in the beginning, we're going to have to do both. We're going to have to ratchet up the amount of money these people are paid so that it reflects the work that they do. I think at the beginning, because we have such a shortage, we're going to have to do something to attract people in. And one of the ways you do that is by attracting them into our colleges to get certified. And then later on, once we get to a number that's, we're meeting the demand, then you can go back to a tuition-based system. The government is saying, oh, the answer is to bring in foreign trained PSWs and EAs. Well, that's not a bad thing. But we have all kinds of people in Canada and Ontario now who could do it, who are immigrants, who are not just, white European settlers. They're First Nations people. They're look at in our community. We have a large Pakistani community, right? There's all kinds of people that can do this work, and we should be looking at how we can deal with that here.
A couple of
excuse me.
A couple. Yeah, that's why Mark and I have these mute buttons. We're hitting them all the time. Coughing or dogs barking. But a couple of local things I wanted to chat to you about. So we've sworn in a new police chief. Here in Timmins. Is this what? And I know this is probably just an opinion, but you're close to the pulse. What are some of the things that the new police chief should probably be acting on? Because, I always say there's many great things about Timmins, but like any other city in the world, there's areas that we can improve upon. And people talk about the downtown core being one of them. And it's just not exclusive to that. But what are some of the things that he should be focusing on to make the community feel safer?
Well, I think, first of all of us could be accused of having to do more. It doesn't matter if you're the police, the teacher, Kins and Klomp, or Gilles Bisson. Like, we can always do more and we can always do better. So let's just accept that. But on the policing side, that's a tough job, really. The police now have become the number you call when you don't have a mental health worker after 5 o'clock, or you don't have, an addictions person after 5 o'clock. You call the police, and we're asking the police to do more and more social work that used to normally be done by people in the social work field. I think one of the things that you have to do, and one of the focuses the previous chief and this chief, I'm sure, are going to work on, is creating those links with community agencies in order to be able to provide better access to services after 5 o'clock and before 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. Now, Canadian Mental Health Association, Pajad Bayat, his people, they're starting to do that. I'm going to give them some credit. We applied for and received money in order to put people on the street to work with those who are drug addicted, who are on the street or alcohol addicted, or have mental health issues from our First Nations communities. So we've got the Firekeeper program that got $2.5 million. No other community got that. We got that. Charlie was a big part of it. And there was, I can't remember the exact breakdown. I think it was $1 million from the province and a little bit more from the federal government. So that's going a long ways. The addiction, the police got extra staff in order to work with them directly to be able to do some of the social work as well. So there's always somebody they can call on who's on staff with the police. And our hospital also got funding in order to have additional staff to deal with some of the addiction stuff as well. So there's a lot that's been done, but man, it's a huge problem.
Sure.
The amount of people on opioids and various drugs and the mental health crisis, not only in Timmins, but across Canada, is horrendous. And this pandemic has not helped. People,
it's ballooned it because
it's
people
made it worse.
It's taking a serious toll, on the mental, side of things, where people, you take away all their restrictions, and where does someone go with problems? There's nowhere to reach out to. Right?
Yeah, and that's the big problem that the police are facing. We're asking them to do all kinds of things that, quite frankly, should be done by community agencies, and we're starting to go there. And that's one of the things you're going to see in the election. We're actually going to speak to that policy pretty directly about some of the things that we got to do. But always remember, a person who is on a serious drug like opioids or whatever it might be, they're not criminals. Let's not treat them like criminals. They're people that are addicted. when my dad, I grew up, was an alcoholic. And when he decided that he wanted to drink, he got support, and he never drank for the last 27 years of his life. Wonderful man when he didn't drink. When he drank, it was a very different story. But we didn't treat him like a criminal. We provided him support. And that's how you got to deal with this. You got to, and with drugs, it's so much harder to quit.
Susan had a question for Gilles. Mark, you want to take the lead?
Yeah, here's Susan's here, Gilles. Gilles, is there any truth with Ford canceling the stickers for vehicles and replacing it with a yearly safety inspection where you have a sticker in the window of the car? Heard that was a possibility as it is done in other provinces. Can you talk about that?
What he's done is something the NDP did when we were in government back in I think we did it in 91. We eliminated the fee for stickers for your license plate. So we did that in 91 when we were in government. Ironically, Mike Harris got rid of it, which kind of surprised me because you would have thought he would have kept it in place. Mr. Ford has decided to do what we did, and he's going to eliminate the fee that you have to pay to get your sticker, but you still need to go to Service Ontario or go online to get a sticker. That's the only thing you got to do. The only difference is same as before, but you don't have to pay. It's a good thing.
Right. Yeah. So you guys still got to have that sticker on the back of your car. You just got a $0 bill to pay. And
but you don't have to get a safety check. You don't have to, nothing like that. It's just your sticker will have a date on it. You'll have to renew it, and you won't have to pay. Now, one of the reasons we do that, and I had this explained to me by the police, and I never thought of it. I thought, that's a good idea. That's a good point. They say often when they see a sticker that it's not valid, they'll pull the vehicle over. And often that's when they're going to find, somebody's got a warrant for their arrest. There's some issue that the police needs to deal with. So it's a tool that the police use in order to be able to catch up to people that sometimes need being caught up with. So that's the reason you keep the sticker in place.
And losing that sticker fee, it's like billions of dollars. So are they going to be going after us in other avenues to get that billion back?
I think the mistake that they're doing, when we did it in 1991, we did it at the beginning of our mandate, and we said it's going to cost so much money. It was a lot less because it was less cars back then and the sticker prices were lower. So when we did it, we said, this is how we're going to offset it. This is what we're going to do to pay for this, right? And we did it, quite frankly. It was an increase to the deficit. That's how we dealt with it. So, but we didn't try to hide that. What the Tories are doing, they're saying, we're going to eliminate it. And they don't say anything about how they're going to get $1 billion, right? So you're going to end up in a situation where we're going to be $1 billion shy. And guess what the Tories are going to do? They're going to increase the deficit. That's how they're going to deal with it, right?
Right.
Somebody was asking, his sticker comes up in April. Yeah, you just call. You'll get a renewal. It should be all in place. Actually, we passed the legislation last week, and it's just a question that the government now has to enact it. It's got to go to the lieutenant governor in order to be enacted, and that should be done within the next week or so.
And the no safety check's going to help you, Mark, because I think I seen your muffler dragging down Algonquin the other day. So you're off.
No safety checks. No. Only a safety check on the trade of a vehicle. That's the only time we do a safety check. So don't sell your car there, Plum.
There you go. That's right. Well, who knows what happened the other day. But the Golden Manor redevelopment was approved for funding. So we've chatted about this a couple times on the show. So this was the big hurdle, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is, listen, to Carol Hall, the city of Timmins, everybody was involved. Great job. Well done. We had a chance to do this way back when. And the previous council decided not to, and instead we let the extended care get its redevelopment for good reason, because we had to move the extended care anyways because of the development of the pit at the Hollinger Mine. So we got a complete rebuild of a new extended care at that time. So that was the first one. And then at that time, the council said, next time the government's doing what they're doing now, we're going to apply. So the city through the Golden Manor made their application. They worked with them. I worked with Carol and her persons quite a few times, getting up to speed on what's going on, finding out what the issues were. I got a commitment from the previous minister in probably November or December, because I'd been talking to him about we needed to have the approval so that we can be in a position to go to tender to put shovel in the ground this spring, right? And so he came to me, I guess it was sometime sometime in November, I guess it was, and gave me the word that in fact it was going to be approved, but we had to wait for the official paperwork to come out. And so I passed that information on to Carol, and I'm sure she passed it on to the people of the city of Timmins, mayor's office, all that kind of stuff. And it took a while. For whatever reason, from the time that the decision was made to where everything was signed off, it took until we made the announcement, I think about 3-4 weeks ago. So this is good news for the city. Yeah. We're one of the few cities who are going to have 2 top-notch homes in our community. Now, the only other part is we need to shore up our home care.
There we go. There are, like we say, we always love to chat about the positives. Obviously, there's things that need to be adjusted, but that is a huge positive for our city. I know this is more of a municipal issue, but obviously, I'm particularly talking about like the snow removals and the plows, and I'm sure your office gets some of that too, even though it's municipal. I am sure that they are working around the clock, the city.
Yeah, the workers are doing everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I personally think that they're doing an amazing job, but I'm fortunate enough to live on a street that's plowed like consistently. Now, driving down some of the side streets in Timmins, just where we were, yesterday off the 7th, very thin, very tight. And to me, I don't think it's an effort by the city or planning. We've had an unusual amount of snow, but is there anything that can be done that would, especially these residents that are living on these compressed streets, it could turn into a dangerous situation? I understand it's municipal, but what's your thoughts?
Well, listen, I don't blame council. Their problem is they got this much money and they got that much demand, right? That's really the problem. And so I think council, rightfully so, is really reluctant to increase our taxes to provide the level of service that people really want. They could do it, but they'd have to whack you with home taxes that I don't think people would support. I know I wouldn't. So the only other answer is that because the city, like to say, oh, there's fat and you can cut all the fat out of the city, that stuff was done a long time ago. Like, that ship has sailed. There's always ways to be more efficient, but the large chunks of money that you can save by efficiencies, most of it has been done. That's what our mayor and council does. That's what our administration does. They try to do those things. What really is the problem is that the province and the federal government over the years have reduced the support that we used to provide to communities. So, for example, when I first got elected in 1990, Algonquin, all the way across from Kamuskosha Highway, all the way to the Kid Creek Highway, was not a municipal road. It was a provincial highway. And the province paid to maintain that at 90% to 10% for the municipality. All of a sudden, Mr. Harris decided to download that stretch of highway, including some other roads like Kamuskosha and the road where the Kettle Lakes Provincial Park is. And they made it 90-10 where the municipality pays 90 and we pay 10 as a province. Well, what do you think that did to their snow clearing budget?
Right. Ate it up.
We need to start uploading some of those roads back. I don't think we can afford to do it all at once, but I think in certain cases like Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie, Kapuskasing, I think is another one, where you could re-upload some of those roads, and that would free up money for the city to be able to do what they need to do to maintain their municipal roads. And I think as a province, we could say, listen, if we do this, we want to see a commensurate increase in your road maintenance budgets in your municipalities if you're going to do this. Don't take the money and run kind of thing. There's been some attempts, in fairness to other governments. There's money from the gas tax that goes to municipalities to pay for some things more transit orientated, which allows them a little bit more money to do this kind of thing. But I think that's the biggest problem. We have really become delinquent landlords when it comes to our provincial highways, when it comes to municipalities, to be quite frank. So I don't blame the city. It's not the city's fault.
No. Now, this does not look like the backdrop of your home. Are you in Toronto right now?
Yeah, I'm at my apartment in Toronto.
So you're seeing zero snow, I bet.
So
if
you look out the window, there's the city of Toronto over there.
Right.
No, there's snow. Yeah. I just come back from the legislature. We had a debate on rule changes again. The government yet again made rule changes to make their jobs easier and ours harder. So I was just there, and I left there at 6 tonight. No, it's not snowing here, but they're calling for snow this. I'm trying to drive back on Friday, but I don't know. looking a bit iffy for Friday.
We always
might snow into Saturday, so
Yeah.
you might be a little dicey there.
we always like to ask, as you know, Gilles Bow's cooking. Of course, you know how he's working for
Cooking
folks
with
in
Gilles.
Parliament, but how he's working for folks in Parliament fills his Facebook feed. But once in a while, we see a cooking video, and I think one just pops. Are you cooking in that apartment also, or you just say
Not as much as when I'm at home. When I'm at home, I do a lot more cooking. Here, it depends. Like tonight, I'd love to make a carbonara. You know, a spaghetti carbonara. I don't have time tonight. I'm going to go downstairs and pick up something in one of the places and bring it back here and have something to eat. But here, it's a lot harder because you're like when you're working at home, because through this pandemic, most of it is home. You can cook while you're doing, but when you're here, you're at Queen's Park. You're doing things there. It's a little bit harder. I can't bring my cooking stuff there. But I want to give you a scoop. My next recipe is going to be my mom's recipe for what we call a good French Canadian roast beef. And the difference is how you cook it. And we make a brown spaghetti to go with it.
There you go. And Mark, you said you're having a bowl of Lucky Charms tonight.
A bowl of Lucky Charms, yes, yeah. No extravagant, cooking skill from my end.
Yeah.
Adding the wiener to the craft dinner, that's as extravagant.
Listen, the one thing about the pandemic is good. It got me to watch YouTube and learn how to cook all things. I make all kinds of neat things now. And, you can make some, and some of it is really simple, like a carbonara. It takes 20, 30 minutes and you got a great meal, right? An aglio spaghetti or, whatever. And I've learned how to properly cook a steak.
I heard
the barbecue and leave it for hours. And then
my problem is I flip my steak too much. I think you're only supposed to flip it once.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to.
I'm a flipper. I got problems.
So you reverse sear. You take your steak overnight. You salt it with some coarse salt. Leave it in the fridge uncovered, both sides. You just set it on a grill. The next day when you cook it, you put it in the oven and you on a lower heat and you let it get to about 128 degrees, 126 degrees. Take it out, then sear it. Don't turn it. Sear, and away you go.
Wow.
That's
what is your cooking time? What do you take your steak at there?
I'll normally eat it about 134.
But 4 minutes aside for you?
Well, it's not. I go by temperature. I was cooking.
Well, okay. So I'm doing it wrong right off the.
I've learned it's. I've tried doing that touch the thing and all that stuff. It's never the same. The reverse sear is going to make your steak cook evenly all the way through. And then the temperatures probe makes you pull it out exactly where you want it. I like it at 134. That's my
134.
Yeah, a little bit on the raw side.
We always
delicious, as she said.
Yeah, magically delicious. Well, that's
Talking about my bowl of Lucky Charms.
There we go. Well, Gilles, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Been a gas.
We always appreciate you coming
busy on that end.
So we'll be back. Not going to be too far away. Anyways, have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, you too. We'll definitely talk soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
There he is, Kinsman. All right, pal. Now watch this. Now, it's the biggest thing, and someone posted a comment, I'm tired of the same subjects, it's over and over. And the biggest thing, I'm feeling it is very tiring on people. Yeah. And no matter what opinion that you have, people want something else to talk about, and hopefully positive. And what a world, my friend. But I do want to talk about something awesome here, Kinsman. Just like this.
International Women's Day today. Yes.
You got it, pal.
Salute all the ladies. As someone said, it's International Women's Day every single day of the year. Right. Let's face it. If the world was run without the women, we'd be in trouble.
All right, Kinsman.
Right. Am I right or am I right? You're
1,000% right. But
1,000% right.
You're 1,000%. But I'm going to tell you 7 things about women that you don't know. And I talked to all your exes, and they say you don't know.
All right, that's why I'm sitting here right now on this.
Yeah, side. I know, pal.
Maybe I can actually learn something. So 7. This is 7 things that you say I don't know about women. So let's see if we're true here.
Women's immune systems are stronger than men's. 1,000%.
I'm going to say 1,000%.
You ever had a man cold before? Like that knocks us down, right? We can't handle this stuff.
Yeah, the good old man cold. Like every lady can attest to that.
Yeah.
What's the next one here?
Oh, hold on.
And again, if anybody out
from-
there wants to, salutes, a favorite lady in their lives, by all means, comment.
Yeah.
And don't
Well,
forget
I
to
already
comment with the hashtag #FullBeard for a chance to win at the end of tonight's show.
women have a higher pain threshold, 1,000%. Can you imagine a man giving birth? He would split in
No.
42 pieces and
No,
die.
we'd be done. We'd be
No.
done. I've witnessed both my boys' birth, and yeah, stitches in places where you wouldn't expect stitches without any freezing. Is what I've witnessed, and back up on the feet. The ladies. My boys' mom back doing everything. Is it? You're like, didn't you just give birth? And here she is.
Oh yeah,
you or I doing that, we'd be out for weeks.
Us as men can barely handle being in like the room when the baby's born. Like we fall apart there. Like that's 1,000,000%. Women detect smell better.
I'm gonna say yes, they do.
Well, it's not a debate. It is true.
Well, these are all true. Yeah, we're not debating.
No, we're not debating.
These are the truth. So yeah, women detect smells better. Yeah.
Maybe that's why Terry says my teenage boys smell bad and I can't hear anything.
You can't smell, because it smells normal to you.
Yeah. This one's interesting. Women can see more colors. I always have debates with, my mom or Terry about like, I think it's a certain color, but they can see it like it's like I'll see a blue and they'll see like a navy blue or something.
It's those posts online. Is this shoe blue or white, right? Or the wedding dress? You always see those odd memes pop up.
Okay.
And Google doesn't lie, according to Janice. Thanks, Janice.
Google. All right. We know this is true. Women have better memories, 1,000%. Like,
if you're gonna do any white lies, you better go back to that white lie and tell it word for word, or else you're in trouble.
Yeah, but because like, say you ever have an argument with a friend who's a guy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some words, maybe there's a push, but it's forgot. Like maybe a half an hour later, you're out having a beer or coffee. I've heard, like, from my mom, I've heard stories from in 72 at Selkirk High School. She looked at me the wrong way. Right? They know every detail. How
they hold grudges. Yeah, that's right.
Well, not just grudges, but they don't forget anything. It's a good point. Like you and I
remember.
You and I forget things like in 45 minutes. Women have this memory that
photographic brains is what the ladies have, and Lorraine agrees. Very true.
This is why. Yeah, this is why it is.
Joanne.
Oh, look, so we have to celebrate Wayne. He won an argument the other. When you say a man won an argument, it's a celebration.
Wayne, can Wayne type, Janice? What was the argument?
Yeah, that's right. We forgive but never forget. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, Rochelle there. Thanks.
Yeah. So
comment.
Yeah, all right, Kinsman. What else I got for you? I got to go back to the band.
Oh yeah, memories.
Well, women's necks are more flexible. I found that. Are you pretty? I know what you're thinking here, pal. No. It doesn't mean. Yeah, weirdo. But are they? I don't know. I want to hear.
Are they flexible?
I don't know. Their necks more flexible.
There's that meme where you put your head against the wall, your hands against the wall, and then you take your hands off with your head. And guys can't do it, but the ladies can. So maybe it is more flexible.
And the final one, and maybe people can share more. But I know this for the truth. Women have sensitive hearing even when sleeping, because as a teenager, when you used to sneak out of the house, it's maybe 2 a.m. Your curfew was like midnight. Then they just crack open the door, like you sort of tiptoe, but you can hear it crack in the house.
Well, even trying to get back into the house, yes, I can remember. We had creaky stairs growing up in Ajax. The one stair. No matter how you stood on it, it would still creak, and then sure enough, you get caught. Hey, you're supposed to be back at 10 o'clock. This is where the parents would put trust in us growing up. Okay, doors open, come back at 9, right? You have to be back at 9, and of course, it'd be like 10:30, 11, so you're sneaking in, and at that one stair would do you in, and of course, all the lights come on. Where were you? We're gonna chat about this at breakfast, and that was the conversation.
too much information. But yeah, I definitely,
Don't worry.
I can never pass any of those sneak-ins through my mother. Heard every single. What do you call it? What's your cliche? Something in crack.
Hmm?
What's your cliche when you talk about sounds? Cracking,
Cracking the whip.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Talking about kids, but yeah, shout out to all the amazing women out there. We all have them in our lives, and they definitely make the world go round and round. And there are inspirations. Now, here's a great question. I started this. Who is your most inspirational woman?
Who's my most inspirational woman? What, in my life?
Yeah.
Well, it would have to be your mom. I think you would have to point to mom. Because without mom, as mom says growing up, you know, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. Mom's got some powers there behind that cape. Right?
Yeah.
When you think about it, you know, a human being, you know, goes from, you know, a poppy seed into us. Boom. You know, out between the legs, and you know, we think we've got magical powers. I'm going to say the inspirational lady in my life would have to be mom.
Yes,
not that he's a nurturing mom. You know what? It's funny. I'm 44, and my mom will still send good nights texts to me every once in a while. You know, always tuning in, no matter how old you get. Right? You're still their little guy, right? So, mom.
Yeah, sure. That's right. I talk to my mom all the time, my friend. There's no replacing your mother in your life. Okay. I know something about a woman, Shania Twain. She's from Windsor and Timmins.
That's right. Well, grew up in she lived in Timmins.
Janice wouldn't say her mom.
I wouldn't say.
I think she's just bugging her.
Janice is sarcastic. That's.
But anyways,
that's how you can misinterpret sarcasm on.
That we're too quick for that, aren't we, Kinsman? But yes, definitely happy International Women's Day.
To all the ladies. And this is your first International Women's Day with your lady in your life, Terry.
Wow.
First International Women's Day with an engagement under your belt.
Yeah. There we go, pal. Yes. Yeah. So they're definitely. Oh, and another point I remember, I found, like, because I raised a daughter and two boys, that raising a daughter, they matured. I want to know people's experience. My daughter matured like 3 times as fast. You know, she was writing and reading, and while the boys are still picking their nose.
No, you got some smart kids there. When I met your kids, when I first met you and I saw like a family photo of you, it was hard to interpret who was. I'm like, is that your sister? Is that your daughter? I couldn't tell if that was your daughter, your sister. Like you all have the Shangri-La syndrome there. Everybody, the fountain of youth.
There we go.
And I always joke, you sacrificed your hair for the stay young.
1,000%.
And it worked.
Yeah, there we go. I had to take the bald from everyone. Okay, so let's thank our sponsors, give people an opportunity to
put in while we're doing the sponsors, thanking our amazing sponsors who make this show happen. Hashtag Full Beard for a chance to win on St. Paddy's Day. And in fact, we're drawing that on Thursday's show. And right now, let's thank Andrew N. and DAP Cleaning Solutions. Commercial cleaning excellence guaranteed. Cleaning service, carpet cleaner, janitorial service, stripping, waxing floors, windows, or any other cleaning, sanitizing job that you require. Call Andrew N. 705-465-3500. I was actually talking with Ann. I said, is there a job that you can you don't do? She's like, we tackle it all. And again, free estimates. Go back to that banner there, Jamie. There we go. 705-465-3500. And again, book your spring cleaning today with DAP.
Yeah.
So there you go. And V&M Renovations, if you follow their Facebook page, you're going to see, some deck projects, painting projects. If you've got a reno that has been put off this winter, looking forward to maybe putting a deck extension, follow them on Facebook. They've got some great new projects that they've done, and they can share with you. 705-372-3832. And again, they're experienced general contractors, property manager, and restoration company serving Northern Ontario. V&M Renovations. And how about Full Beard Brewing? We were there for Tampon Tuesday this afternoon. They are rocking free delivery every day for your brews. And again, a minimum order of 12 beers. You can get that order in before 4 o'clock. And guess what? Jonathan St. Pierre, Benji Potvin will deliver it personally to you. And again, 705-268-0444 is the number. And win this space with the Downtown Timmins BIA. This is cool, even if you don't have a job or you're currently seeking a job. You need a space to work rent-free. This is perfect in this space. And again, you can enter to win before March the 25th. And get your entries in to downtowntimmins.com. More info, even online. And again, you can win it. And when you get in there, rent-free, which is pretty cool for your space. And come drive with Lucian. This is where you get to drive, and you don't have to worry about filling up the buses with gas prices, because guess what? They're going to put you at the front of the bus, and this is where they're going to pay you to drive. Everybody fretting about gas prices. Lucian, they pay you. And if you're looking for, a new part-time, full-time hours, again, 705-360-4090. March recruitment drive is on. New drivers pick up a $2,000 sign-on bonus. And current drivers, if they recruit you, they even pick up a $1,000 recruitment bonus. And how about Purple Power, the Seizure and Brain Injury Center? I want to salute all the ladies and gents from the Seizure and Brain Injury Center here in Timmins. And coming up on the 26th, between now and the 26th, they want you to paint the town and your office everything purple. And you are asked to display your purple hair, your makeup, nails, other creative endeavors. You can wear purple t-shirts, caps, show off yourself and your friends and your family, even your pets. And again, if you enter in a submission between now and March the 16th, that's next week, your entry will be posted on their Facebook page as a result of your involvement. And your entry must be submitted by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 16th. And it's cowerwinder at 5656@gmail.com to get your submissions in. I can't hear you, Klomp.
If you check their Facebook page, I believe they've extended the contest today.
Oh, they extended the contest today? Okay, so get your entries in. So that means more Purple Power. I know my little guys' teachers are doing it at their class. And again, some fun to do if you are a teacher. You can add that to the curriculum for the next couple of weeks. And how about this? Plant-based Marché. They've got a St. Patrick's Day menu, which is going to tie in beautifully with our St. Patty's Day night, because at Full Beard, when you're there on the 17th, not only will you be enjoying, the Ginsto Balladeers music, $5 admission. You can bring your local food from your favorite place. And Plant-Based Marché, they're offering a St. Patty's Day menu. I actually had the Irish soup today. They've got kale salad. That Irish soup is amazing, by the way. They've also got corned beef and cabbage meal, lentil and mushroom shepherd's pie. And again, the St. Patty's Day menu, they encourage you to bring it in. And, get yourself involved with Plant-Based Marché, which they're located at 175 3rd Avenue in Timmins. The Timmins Rock getting set for their next home game. They're back at it on Friday night. In fact, they've got games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Get your tickets online at timminsrock.com. They're going to take on the Espanola Express Friday night at 7:30.
There you go, pal. And people were commenting about the
hashtag.
Well, no.
Our shoveling. Yes, we shoveled Lori's driveway.
And let's just say you shoveled the driveway in your new pair of jeans.
I did.
You did. You didn't wear sweatpants.
I didn't wear sweatpants. You know what? I don't own ski pants. It's funny. I yell at my boys all the time. I'm like, you got to put your ski pants on. And here I am being the perfect example, going out and shoveling and 7 feet of snow, and I'm wearing jeans. Yes.
Now look at this.
I just wanted to show off my new jeans.
It looks good on you, pal. All right, so let's
like my jeans. Thanks, Selena.
I thought it was ridiculous.
What?
All right. So you got the list here.
So we do have the list updated now. There's no going to be duplications.
All right. Are you ready?
Again, we've got Mona Lisa in, Caitlin's in, Rochelle, Casey Smith, Janice, Anne Marie, Lori, a Lynn, and a Louise. So there we go. So we're looking at qualifier number 10 for a chance to go to our St. Patty's Day party on the 17th. The Ginso Balladeers and special guests going to be there. It's $5 entry. Amanda St. Jean is a winner. There we go. Congratulations, Amanda.
So
she's going to pick up we're giving away a t-shirt tonight.
Yes.
All right. So she picks
Yeah.
up a Full Beard t-shirt and now into the draw for Thursday night, which we are going to still have another qualifier Thursday and then the grand prize draw on Thursday's show.
That's right. Pay the bill. So make sure you're ready to have a good time that night and walk out with zero bill, which is pretty
Zero
nice.
bill. And, talking about plant-based Marche, they are providing to the winning table a charcuterie board from plant-based. So if you haven't tried plant-based, which you should, by the way, again, that Irish soup, never had I'm not a big soup guy, and I tried their Irish soup today for lunch. Amazing. And again, plant-based Marche will give you a sample of their charcuterie board when you win and sit with us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Actually, they have a pretty amazing selection over there.
No, they do.
All right, pal.
They do.
That's it. I think that wraps it up.
Is that it for the night?
And now that I've told you 7 things about women, you now know a total of 7 things about women.
7 things about women, and the minute this show's done, I'm going to forget all of them, and that's why I sit here with no one right now.
Okay. There you
That's
go.
right. I'm the hopeless romantic on this side.
Are you the hopeless
tips
romantic?
from you? You're the engaged guy. Should be following you for tips.
No one's following me for anything, pal.
All right, buddy.
There's
Have a
always
good night.
There's always someone out there that loves a good bowl of Lucky Charms.
That's fine dining right there.
There you go. Magically delicious.
Escúchame, baby, yo te quiero, baby. Sin ti no valgo la pena, sin ti esto es una condena. Escúchame, baby, que te quiero, baby. Sin ti yo no quiero nada, mi mundo por ti esperaba. Y te digo, y es que sí.